Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a journey into the incredible wildlife of Himachal Pradesh. What really makes this region special, is that dramatic climb from pretty low altitudes right up to the towering Himalayas.
Yeah, thousands of meters difference.
Exactly. And that creates this stunning variety of habitats. We've got your notes here covering everything from mammals, birds, reptiles.
Right, and the national parks, the sanctuaries too. All crucial.
Definitely. So our goal is to pull out the most fascinating insights for you, really show how this landscape shaped by altitude affects the creatures living there.
And what's immediately striking, I think, is how that extreme elevation change dictates, where different animals can actually survive. It's almost like nature has these very strict zones based on height.
Okay, let's unpack that. Starting with the mammals, perhaps.
Yeah.
The really iconic ones. You can't picture the high Himalayas without thinking of the snow leopard.
The ghost of the mountains, yeah.
Roaming those remote areas, Speedy, Lahore. Must be incredible.
Absolutely. And their very existence there just speaks volumes about their adaptation, to those harsh, high-altitude conditions.
Right.
Now, contrast that with, say, the Himalayan black bear.
Oh, okay.
Completely different habitat. It thrives in the denser forests, lower down, mid-elevations mostly.
So two bears, total different worlds.
Exactly. And then even higher up than the black bear, you find the Asiatic brown bear. So it really illustrates that altitude zoning.
That's fascinating. A sort of wildlife ladder. And it's not just the bears, right? We also have things like the goral.
The goat antelope, very nimble on the rocky slopes.
And the baral, or blue sheep. They're higher up again.
Yeah, grazing way up in the high trans-Himalayan pastures. And of course, you've got leopards, sambar, musk deer. They're spread across different zones too, a real mix. And each of these animals, from the tiny musk deer to the big predators, they all play a vital role, right, in the balance of their specific environment.
Okay, let's switch gears. What about the birds? Himachal skies must be quite something.
Oh, definitely.
You mentioned the western tragopan, the state bird.
That's right. A really rare, beautiful pheasant found in places like the Great Himalayan National Park.
Sounds like a proper birder's dream location.
It absolutely is. Its bright plumage is, it's a testament to the rich biodiversity there. And then there's the monal pheasant, too.
Oh, yeah.
Stunning colors. It's Nepal's national bird, actually, but you find it gracing Himachal's landscapes as well.
Wow. And the notes also mention snow partridge. Makes sense for the high slopes.
It's perfectly camouflaged up there.
And those big raptors, Himalayan griffon, lammergeier, soaring overhead.
Impressive sights. Plus, a whole variety of smaller birds, finches, warblers, flitting through the forests and alpine scrub.
So the presence of these specialized high-altitude birds, it tells us a lot about the health of those upper ecosystems.
It really does, yeah.
Now quickly, what about reptiles and amphibians? I imagine fewer numbers up high.
That's right. It gets pretty cold, obviously. But there are some unique species that have adapted to the lower, slightly warmer areas. Their survival is even more tightly linked to temperature.
Makes sense. Okay, let's dive into the protected areas. The Great Himalayan National Park, GHNP, in Kulu, that really stands out. UNESCO World Heritage Site.
It does, and it stretches from mid-altitudes around 1,500 meters right up past 6,000 meters.
That's an incredible range.
It is, and what makes GHNP so significant is that it covers multiple ecological zones. So each zone supports its own unique set of species.
Like the snow leopards and Himalayan tar high up.
Exactly, and then lower down, things like the western tragopan we mentioned. Plus, the alpine meadows there are incredibly important habitats too.
Then we have Pin Valley National Park over in Lahore and Speedy. That sounds like a complete contrast. Cold desert.
Yeah, very different feel. Stark, arid, but still a critical stronghold for snow leopards and also the Siberian ibex.
And summer's the time to visit there, I gather.
Definitely. The access is much easier then. And that difference, between GHNP's sort of green lushness and Pin Valley's aridness, it really highlights the diversity within Himachal.
Right. And it's not all high mountains. Down in the Shivalik Hills, there's Simbalbur National Park, Sirmoor District.
Different terrain again.
Yeah. Different wildlife too, like goral and sambar, more typical of those lower forests. A good reminder, Himachal isn't just about snow peaks.
True. And you also mentioned Inderkila and Shirganga National Parks. Shirganga is known for its medicinal plants, apparently, and some great treks.
So these parks, they're acting as these vital safe havens.
For a whole spectrum of species, yeah. Each adapted to its own specific niche, its own environment.
Okay, finally, the wildlife sanctuaries. Chail comes up, known for European red deer.
And Indian muntjac, the barking deer.
Right. And Renuka Wildlife Sanctuary, around Renuka Lake. This one had a surprise lions. In captivity, though.
Yeah, that's an interesting detail, likely part of an educational thing or maybe a conservation breeding program. You also find sambar and spotted deer there naturally.
Okay. And Durangati Sanctuary is important for the western tragopan again, and the Himalayan black bear.
Correct. And then there are other high-altitude sanctuaries, Tinda, Kugti, Kaltop Kajiar, all rich in wildlife, adapted to those tougher conditions.
So when you piece it all together, Himachal Pradesh really stands out, doesn't it? A proper biodiversity hotspot in the Himalayas.
Absolutely. That massive change in altitude, that gradient, it just creates this incredible mosaic of life. From, the really elusive snow leopard way up high, down through unique birds, different mammals, varied plant life, all shaped by elevation.
So what this really tells you, I suppose, is just how vital this region is in the bigger picture of the Himalayan ecosystem.
Exactly. And it underscores the ongoing need for conservation, especially with, environmental changes happening. Which kind of brings us to a final thought for you, the listener, to ponder. Considering this incredible range of wildlife, all shaped by these dramatic environmental gradients, what single adaptation found in any Himachal species do you think best exemplifies the power and maybe the importance of natural selection in our changing world? Something to think about.